You've worked hard to earn and save. Now it's time to make your money work hard for you. This is Empower Your Retirement with Frank and Frankie Guida of A Better Way Financial.
Country Radio Seminar, or CRS, is an annual gathering in Nashville that brings together industry leaders from radio, record labels, and of course, the country stars themselves. And this year, Frankie Guida had the chance to attend CRS, where he met several up-and-coming country music stars, including Chase Matthew. So in their conversation, Chase shared with Frankie some of his biggest musical influences, collaborations that he dreams about, and also what's next on his journey.
Tell me a little bit about some of the artists who inspire you in your music.
Yeah, man. I think a lot of my inspiration comes from like my parents. But artist-wise, I've spent a lot of time this year with Jason Aldean, and I think that guy is so open arms and just cool and inspiring me more, even outside of creativity, right? He's like inspiring me to just be like as open arms to openers and artists and other people and things, and like just understanding that like we're all, I guess what I'm trying to say is back to the story of this is like the first night on tour with Aldean, he was like, came right up to me and was like, hey man, after the show, let's kick it. And we stayed up to like 4 a.m. getting to know each other. And I hope one day when I'm on a tour of that scale that I treat my openers like that and, you know, leave that impact. So
yeah, and for him, it's like, it seems like everything's very personal and professional. It's not just like, all right, well, what can we do in your career? What's up with that? It's like, you know, how are you doing? What's new and everything like that.
Right. And that's something that we need more of. So it was a really cool experience for sure.
Yes. So who would you want to do a collab if you could pick any artist?
Jason Aldean.
All right, you heard it here first, coming out.
Yes, sir. Who knows?
Jason and Jason, that'd be pretty cool.
Chasing Jason. That could be a good band name, you know?
Yeah, why not, right? So what would you say is next on your bucket list, either musically or professionally?
On my bucket list currently is getting overseas and touring overseas. I've never been outside of North America. Been to Canada, but that's the only other country I've ever been to. So in March, we'll be going out to the UK, and then we will be traveling also overseas with Keith Urban this year, which I'm so stoked to be on that tour. But yeah, that was like one of my bucket lists for this year, and it's finally going to happen. So outside of touring, though, probably getting my dad's car finished. We've been working on his old 65 Satellite and restoring it, and so getting that put together by the end of this year would be really nice.
That's an awesome goal, man.
Yes, sir.
What would you say is next for Chase Matthew? What's your next big goal?
Well, as we were just talking about, I've got an album coming out Friday, headline and rhyming on Friday. And so as of right now, what's next is preparation for that. You know, we live by the 5 Ps. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. And so all week we've got rehearsals as soon as I leave here. And, you know, I think that having that under your belt as rhyming, such a iconic place, definitely something to look forward to. So that's what's next for me close. But after that, I'll be just writing more music and be out on the road, touring, shaking hands, and come see us.
And last one here, just what's it like when you're on stage, seeing fans saying the same words that you came up with and just like kind of seeing that whole experience?
That is specifically words that I came up with. That's what's crazy. It's like some of these words I come up with, I don't think they make sense, but then like people like live by them. It's wow. It's kind of scary because you gotta watch what you say, right?
Yeah, like but tattoos of people.
Yeah, like
oh, those are my lyrics. Like,
yeah. Do you want to hear something crazy? Is when someone tells you, "Hey, will you sign my arm?" I have to ask every time now, "Are you getting this tattooed?" Because if not. Because I get really like, I have to make sure it looks good. I don't want you to have a tattoo of like my, you know, halfway signature, you know. Yeah. So I don't know how we got off on that, but don't let me know.
Well, that's awesome, Chase. Thanks for being on the show today.
Yes, sir. Thank you all for having me.
That was Frankie Guida talking with singer Chase Matthew at this year's Country Radio Seminar, where Frankie also met self-taught musician Hudson Westbrook, who recently burst onto the music scene, all thanks to a viral video of him performing his song, Take It Slow. And Hudson, talking with Frankie, shared his thoughts on how country music became his escape and the sacrifices he's making to chase his dreams.
Well, welcome to the radio show. Just first question for you. What got you started here in country music?
Yeah, in the past I was breaking bulls and doing all that type of stuff, and so I would always listen to country music, whether it was working or whether it was showering or whether it was driving in the truck, and it was kind of like my getaway from everything, from school, from top to bottom. And me and my mom always, like, that was our thing, was to listen to Jack Johnson in the car together.
Yeah.
And so it always touched me in a certain way, and I was like, maybe I want to try it on my own. Like, maybe if I love it so much, why am I not doing it?
Right.
And did I ever expect it to turn into this? No, but it was always something that I wanted to do, and I always have played guitar since I was in 8th grade. So,
and you had that passion for it,
Yeah.
but it had to be hard in the beginning, just taking that commitment, going from something that, is comfortable, is normal, and then going into something that maybe isn't so normal for you. What was that like?
Yeah. I would say you got to say goodbye to everything you've ever known in like 8 months, from the town you're living in to the state you're in to what you're doing, the friends you have, the food you're eating, where you're sleeping. Everything changes. And I feel like the most important thing is to, the title track of my EP was I'll Pray Your Name. And it was like the idea of no matter where I am, the most important thing is to keep my constants in life in mind, Call my mom, call my dad, call my family, girlfriend.
Stay grounded.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Friends. And I feel like that's what keeps you sane, and including them, like if they're not a part of it, then you're living two separate lives.
Right. You want to bring up the people who you're with and bring up the people around you.
Yeah.
So I totally get that.
But my friends have been like, what is going on, dude? Why aren't you home? And
you can't be with everybody. It's too much.
Lubbock, Texas is real far from Nashville. So.
Yeah. So tell me about your relationship with your family and what that's like.
Yeah. So I grew up in Stephenville, and then when my parents split, I got really close with my two brothers because, me and all my siblings are super close, and me and my mom. And it was kind of like any big brother situation or big sister. It was like, if I do this, it's the end of the world, and I'm getting treated like the only child now because I'm the youngest. And but it taught me a lot because I also learned the mistakes that I shouldn't make because of them. And they always look out for me, and they don't ever call me saying you messed up. They call me saying it could have been worse, or it could have been, they've always lifted me up. And we did a show 3 days ago at Billy Bob's in Texas, and my whole family was there. So it was really cool. They're always hyping me up, my biggest hype man. So.
Yeah. And once you got that first big paycheck, what did you say you splurged on?
I would say the first thing I ever splurged on was I bought a bow. I bought like a super nice bow, and I still haven't got to shoot it because I've been on the road. But at some point I'll get to shoot it. I went to Shields and I got like a tree stand, all this stuff, and then I think land will be my super big first purchase. I just want some land to bring the band to, and my family to, and my friends to. So.
Yeah, looking at some point settling down eventually and having that nice piece of land.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Well, what excites you, or what do you think of the impact on tour experience so far here at CRS?
Yeah, it's been great, and on the radio tour and all that. Yeah, that's been fun. We're getting into it now, and you meet someone new every day. Everybody's different, and but you find beauty in that, and like learning how to talk to all different types of people, and getting to play your songs to people that haven't heard them. You go play headline shows, but you go play them for people that haven't heard them or haven't had the chance to hear them, and get their input. So I love to see that too, especially being a young kid, and having a very young crowd. Most people that you're meeting in Nashville and in the radio world are not 19 years old. You know? They're older. And so it is cool to see that older demographics and even people in the industry are interested. So it's been really cool.
So who's your favorite artist to listen to growing up?
My favorite artist to listen to when I was growing up was probably Flatland Cavalry, Parker McCollum, and Co Wetzel. Like all those are all top threes, but right now Benson Boone
gotcha.
is my dude. So
yeah,
I'm a super fan.
And if there's anybody you could do a collab with today, who would it be?
Yeah, I think I would love to do a collab with Girl Wise Megan Maroney. That'd be really
That'd
cool.
be awesome.
Yeah,
I'd love to hear that.
yeah. And then dude-wise, I mean, Parker or Co would be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's everything for me. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, I appreciate you for having me, man.
That was Hudson Westbrook, one of country music's newest stars, talking with our very own Frankie Guida at this year's Country Radio Seminar in Nashville. Tennessee native Redferrin was another musician highlighted at CRS, and he talked with Frankie about his chance friendship with superstars, Florida-Georgia line, and how that launched his career. Also, how his motocross background shaped his grit in the industry, and why storytelling is at the heart of everything he does.
Alrighty, so Redferrin, what got you started into country music?
Oh, man, that's a good question. So I've grew up always picking on a guitar and stuff. My daddy worked at Gibson, so music was a thing around my house, but it took until I met Florida-Georgia line, and they let me know about this whole songwriting industry down here in Nashville, and they kind of helped me kick that door open.
That's awesome. How do you get that introduction with them?
So, funny enough, T-Hub bought a farm in White House, Tennessee, and I was racing dirt bikes at the time. I just went professional, and music was kind of just a hobby for me. So, first 6 or 8 months of our friendship, we were just dirt bike buddies. We'd ride at his track anytime he was home, and one day I told him, hey, man, I can't come ride. I'm going to the studio today. And he's like, what do you mean you're going to the studio? And I was like, well, I'm going to pay a guy to make me a song. So he's like, well, send it to me, and if it's got anything good on it, I'll help you out. So him and Brian seen something in it, I guess, and they started mentoring me and introducing me to different people here in town, getting me in rooms I didn't have no business being in, and it just kind of snowballed, man.
That's so cool. And you said it started out with you dirt biking.
Yes, sir.
How has that taken, I feel like you need a certain level of just grit to be a dirt biker and really any type of professional type athlete. I mean, how does that help shape your music career?
I would say motocross really prepared me for this music industry thing. There's only one person that's number one every week, and there's 39 others chasing it. Yep. And it's kind of funny. The chart is 40 and the dirt bike gate is 40.
That's quite a coincidence there, huh?
It's pretty funny. And, I would say you got to be able to take a no. You got to be able to take a loss and come back and fight just as hard the next week. And, also the traveling part of it. I grew up running around in a Ford box van with my dad, just doing our best to make it to the races, staying in little cheap motels and camping. And, so my road game's pretty good, I feel like. So that don't wear me out too much out here compared to some people. So it all weirdly prepared me for it. I never knew what I was training for, but because
you build on it. Like, you had the travel. You went all these other places, I'd imagine, when you were doing all that. Yes, I used to be a wrestler when I was growing up. And,
for real?
Yeah, I wrestled up.
How long did you do that?
Until college. I wrestled in college as well, Division I. And, man, it was the same type of thing. You're traveling. You're trying to figure out, all right, well, what am I going to do in this situation? What am I going to do in that situation? And just constantly preparing for it. So it's really cool to hear that same kind of story from you as well.
Yeah, man. It's funny. Like I said, it's funny how much they kind of coincide. I never would have imagined dirt bikes would have led me to Nashville to write songs, All my football coaches in high school, they said, you got to pick dirt bikes or football. I said, I'll pick dirt bikes. They said, that'll never get you anywhere.
Yeah.
And it had me right where I was supposed to be. Yeah. Sorry, Coach Porter.
Oh, man, that's awesome, man. With your music, it's so genuine and authentic, and then it's also very different. It's not like the rest of the country music scene. How do you have that, your own personal touch on everything, and make it still relatable for everybody else out there?
Man, that's cool of you to say, Growing up, my dad was listening to ZZ Top and Ozzy and Metallica, and my mom's listening to Don Williams, Alan Jackson. My sister's listening to any pop or rap artist she can get a hold of to try to drive my parents crazy. So I just, I grew up hearing all these different kinds of music, and we was on the age where you could download stuff, and you didn't have to go to a record shop, So just being exposed to so much really kind of, that's where my blend comes from. But I grew up in the country. I mean, it's country. There was 3,000 people there probably. It's doubled or tripled now. But and then when I come to town, something that I told Tyler and Brian was really important to me was Alan Jackson. The way he told stories, that was my favorite. So I wanted to write with every person I could find that was still around writing that wrote for Alan. So I cut my teeth with, traditional country songwriters with a high bar, and everything had to be so colorful. And I know sonically it sounds a little different, but the roots of everything I do is traditional country music.
Well, and then you can hear a lot of it. It's like storytelling. I mean, you're telling the story of something you're going through, and it's really cool and really riveting to hear.
Thank you for saying, man. Yep. When I was a songwriter, I felt like I wrote what people wanted to hear a lot, and I got a couple cuts that way, and it served me well. But once I started just writing for myself and just telling stories and really pouring my heart into it, it felt like that's when people was able to see themselves in it a little more.
Yeah, and they can see just the passion you have for it. I mean, we were watching you on stage yesterday, and it was, you're just moving around like you got the energy. It's so cool to watch.
Thank you, man. I feel pretty lucky to get to sing them. My first 5 or 6 years here, I was totally content and settled into being a songwriter, and did not mind to be the guy behind the scenes, because I've always been kind of shy traditionally. Yeah. But, getting this opportunity kind of broke me out of my shell a little bit, and I feel like nobody can tell my story like I can. So it's been real rewarding to get a chance to do it. And like I said, it's kind of funny to be as personal and precise, whatever, specific as I am in these songs, and then people be able to see themselves in the details somehow. Well, so it's a sweet thing. Yeah, and just for you to be doing it too. Like, it's one thing to write a song for somebody else, and it's like it just doesn't resonate the same way as the original songwriter going out and doing their song. Yeah, it's fun to go to a writer's round in Nashville and you see somebody sing it the way it was made, and people get to hear mine the way it was wrote every night, because it comes from my heart, and I don't take that for granted, man. It's pretty sweet. I'm thankful. I love my songwriting, man. I always tell everybody I like to sing, I love to write. So I'm thankful for it all, but writing is what keeps me going. Absolutely. So what's next for Redferrin? What's next for Redferrin? Well, got an EP coming next Friday called Some City Somewhere. Okay. We wrote the whole thing on the tour bus or in green rooms across the world. We wrote one in London called Long as There's a Bar. Yeah. Man, it was a really fun experience. I missed home a lot last year, but I just took my buddies that I write with me, and we was seeing places we never seen before, and it inspired songs that I ain't never wrote before. So I really hope people enjoy that. Going on the road with Old Dominion and Ernest this summer. Yeah. So that'll be exciting. That's going to be a good time. Can't wait for that. Got a couple other projects I'm working on. I'll tell you more about next time I see you. They still sounds good. They still premature ideas, but they're coming along. And yeah, man, just like Johnny on the radio. Yes, sir. Can't believe that. I mean, that's been awesome, just watching that continue to grow, watching, just everything, the way that it's going. Thank you for saying, man. I can't believe I got a song on country radio. That's I know my mama's tickled up there, man. Yeah. Well, thank you for being on the show today. Of course, dude. Thank you for the time, man.
That was singer-songwriter Redferrin talking with Frankie Guida recently at Country Radio Seminar in Nashville. And as always, we appreciate you listening and invite you to check out more of our Empower Your Retirement episodes wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us anytime at abetterwayfinancial.com or click on the links we have posted in the show notes.
Thanks for listening to Empower Your Retirement with Frank and Frankie Guida. To learn more, visit abetterwayfinancial.com.
By contacting us, we'll review aspects of your retirement portfolio to include suggestions about how best to utilize estate, tax, and retirement planning strategies and other financial services, or if changing management styles is appropriate for your specific needs and objectives. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendations to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. A Better Way Financial is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Any client experiences discussed during this show are unique to that client, and they are not meant to imply or suggest you will experience the same results. Advisory services offered through A Better Way Financial. Insurance offered through licensed professionals at A Better Way Financial. Pennsylvania Insurance License number 301779.